Welcome back, everyone. It is time now for the Houston Rockets to choose the number 4 draft pick in our GCM mock draft. Joining me, not again, I guess, for the draft, right? Just again from GCM, Kelcey Iko. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for giving me the time.
Woo, woo. Okay, so I gave you the draft board. I showed you who is off, who you cannot choose. And it does feel like this draft was very much like 1, 2, and 3. We knew who was kind of going there. The order is flip-flopping sometimes, but now it gets a little juicier because a lot of draft boards have a lot of different people coming up next. Before you give me your draft, before I put you on the clock, tell me what you think after the season Houston have. They went 22-60. They won 22 games. Obviously, their stars, Jalen Green, Jabari Smith Jr. What do they need? Like, what piece fits?
Well, for a team, given where the Rockets are, you kind of need a bit of everything, So you obviously need shooting because this was one of the worst, 3-point shooting teams in the league last season and the season before. Mm-hmm. You obviously need playmaking because you don't have an established starting point guard. You still need defenders that can impact the game on different levels. You need a bit of everything. So the Rockets enter into an offseason where, if you're going to move from phase 1 to phase 2, you need players that are going to take you to that level. And to do so, it starts with the draft, quote unquote, but realistically, they have $60 million in free agency where they need to actually add a bunch of win now veterans. But, start with the draft. If you take the best player available, that's what you should do at 4.
Okay. So again, before I put you on the clock, what is more important to Houston's success next year? This number 4 pick, like the draft, or is it those veterans that they're going to have to get?
Yeah, it's going to be the veterans because, taking a player with the 4th pick overall, you understand that this is going to be a project. This is going to be someone that you bring in and you have to develop within your team structure. And that could take a year or 2 or 3. So there has to be a level of patience involved as opposed to, all the cap space you have where you can go out and sign, guys that can come in and help and push the team forward and have them to win now. So it's more important given where everyone wants to get to that they're bringing guys, this summer.
Is there any names that you like, veterans?
I mean, obviously, everyone talks about James Harden and the usual. So Dylan Brooks is another one for sure. Brook Lopez, guys along that nature, guys that can come in and kind of reestablish the culture and the tone of this team. They need leadership, they need guidance, but I think from a more important standpoint, they need guys that can win. They need guys that have been there before, they've done that can come in and show these young players who are talented, but they still need some guidance in how to get to that right spot.
All right, so the young guys, Jalen Green, Jabari Smith Jr., both draft picks in the last couple of years, picked 3rd and 2nd and 3rd. Let's go. Number 4 pick on the clock. Kelcey Iko is drafting
Amen Thompson out of Overtime Elite. I think the Rockets are going to be sold on his upside, his ability to make certain reads, his defensive ability. Yes, the jump shot still needs a lot of work, but they're going to bring in guys in the offseason that can help these young players, kind of tweak those mechanics and get things better. But from an explosive standpoint, pairing someone like Amen Thompson with Jalen Green could be electric, in a year or 2. So at this point at number 4, you want to take the best player available and worry about the fit later. And of the guys on the board, I think Amen Thompson could be the best.
Explosive athlete. He is 6'7", 20 years old. Elite ball handler is what everyone's saying. Great passing ability, fearless at the rim, high basketball IQ. They say that the one thing that he does need to work on is that jump shot. Does it scare you at all?
Not necessarily because, the Rockets are not in a place where, they just need talent at this point.
And he's talented. Guys I wasn't trying to say he wasn't. He's
yeah. And he's extremely talented, young kid, hard worker. You want to see him, pair with, a scorer like a Jalen Green, pair with a guy like Jabari Smith Jr., and get those guys moving forward because he wants to win. The culture is already there. He's a hard worker, the grit, the determination. The jump shot will come at some point. You just need to give him time. But from a holistic standpoint, there's no reason to pass on, the upside of Amen Thompson. It's kind of hard to do that.
His passing ability and the passes that he's able to make, passing it to someone like Jalen Green who can score is, I think, a pretty good fit. The last thing I saw about him was that his favorite players are LeBron James and John Morant. How much do we love that?
Hey, he's a kid, man. So I mean, some LeBron, LeBron is probably the best role model you can have in the NBA, and you can't ask for much more for a young kid coming to the NBA.
Kelly, thank you so very much. I'm so excited to watch the Houston Rockets next year. They have a bright future ahead of them for sure.
Yeah, we'll see.